We
Are farmers.
Also just we.
Weed.
No, just we. Just wahoo. Wahoo. All right, cool. We are now all systems go. Welcome everybody to Age of Myth, where we play
Hey, you said it right on the first time.
in the lands of myth. How are we all? We are all
Dying.
we are dying very slowly. No, we are good. I think we're good. As far as I know, we are good. Surviving and getting ready to enter the month of May, because tomorrow's May. What the hell?
What the yuck?
Yeah, that's
It's gonna be May.
It's gonna be May.
I had to. I know it's old and tired.
No.
Dreamy set us up and we all failed.
It's because all of the members are in sync are making TikToks about it in celebration of the auspicious day.
Oh, really?
Oh, I have no doubt. We are all being all. We are all we. Oh no, Smoggle.
Back when Justin Timberlake's hair looked like an unseasoned packet of ramen.
No, we did.
All right. Well, here we are, ready for another exciting month filled with activities, and it's gonna be fun. As far as announcements goes,
Well, I guess that's me, unless somebody else
Yeah.
has something. No, nothing. No. Okay. Well, I need all of you here to be paying attention to the stream. Get through your pre-ad roll. Do your thing. Take a sip of something, because I need you to spit it out.
and we don't need any more technical difficulties, please.
Before this goes, I'd like to thank Kitty Crafto, aka Helena, for putting something together.
I guess I should
Aaron.
have Twitch pulled up.
Ready?
Roll that clip.
Oh god.
Did you not listen?
Yeah.
Now I know why you were so excited yesterday.
It got to the stream right as we came back. I will have to watch
He
it later.
told you to pull it up and get through your ads, Trevor.
I heard that, but that wasn't enough time. That was 30 seconds.
Well, this bodes well for you.
Womp
Buddy.
womp. It's okay.
There was a test today.
Welcome to BTM. Every day is a test.
And I had 15 pages of notes. I counted last night when I rewrote them all.
You haven't even started yet. You already have 15
I
pages.
have had 6 sessions. Thank you very
Well,
much.
I know. Nice. So coming soon. That's exciting. Super
The
looking
current
forward.
timetable, if all goes to plan, because I know a couple of people are fairly busy in the first half of May. So we're looking at the last portion of May, maybe the last week or so. We'll update soon.
Nice.
Justin was right. For years, the prophecy. It's gonna be May.
Well, yes, yeah. To kind of go along with that, because with that, we are doing that at the end of the month. Mark your calendars for the 17th, because we have another thing coming. And I also happen to have a video for that. So
Trevor,
yet
pull the
again,
stream. Pull the stream. Pull the stream.
I
Trevor.
nearly closed it.
So here we go. Once again, huzzah.
Amazing.
So
Sweet.
cool.
Sweet. I may or may not I may or may not have spent a good portion of this morning rewatching bits of of it, just going like, "What happened again?" and then going, "Oh yeah, that's right."
Well, we just don't even have to play now. We've had so many cool announcements. Just kidding. I want to play.
Well, and for that, I guess I don't think there's anything else in the way of announcements. So stay tuned throughout the next couple of weeks as more details emerge from both the sci-fi side and the nighttime side.
Make sure you're in Discord for all the latest information.
Yeah. So then, without any further ado, let's get into tonight's game of Age of Myth.
Okay.
Wahaha. All right. Take it away.
Okay. The crew gathers on the shore, preparing the Hawk of the Sea for its next journey. Phoebe faces west to Sparta and into the sunset as Apollo, even while hidden, paints a beautiful picture across the sky. She stretches her limbs and begins to move through forms. For Phoebe, the line between fighting and dance has always been a little blurred. She begins stepping in and out of imaginary circle, hands outstretched to reach for those who would normally be part of Elericos. Her circle begins to turn counterclockwise as she thinks back through the events of the day. She holds a hand up as she switches to the Macronista, adjusting to match the steps the Misto took in the grove as she beseeched a blessing from Gaia to honor and thank the people of Pathos and their sacred grove. Moving into quick steps, arm across her chest before reaching towards the sun in Heporchima, honoring Apollo and the great sacrifice he has made to hide the location of the last ship that can sail the stars. Quick, nervous steps back and forth of an Paramenitis, remembering why Apollo must keep this ship safe. Of the shards of consuming enemies that seek their maker. Of the 7, now 5. But also 5 Orphics who make up this found family. Though no longer just 5, it seems. Feet crossing over each other, hands extended once again, but this time in a Calamacanio to the growing family of Orphics, scattered across the Aegean and beyond, perhaps joining in the fight. Phoebe's face turns serious and her arms raise as she begins the rapid intensity of a Pyrrhic war dance. The fight between Cyprus and Themisto, beautiful in its display of skill, troubling in the certainty that those skills will be needed sooner rather than later, and sacred in the way that it summons the Lord of War to himself to their location. Her face softens. Dreams and answered prayers. Quick steps to each side and a hand extended in as she steps in and out to meet the partner that is normally present in Asusa, that she has not danced since her wedding. This Susa, though, comes with thoughts of a strong fighter and his longed for love, the dance they will join together in one day, and, of course, thoughts of her own new love as well. The last bits of the sun fade as the stars make themselves known. Astrea's domain. She, the newest ally of the Fold, and El Mentor to our Capitanos. Phoebe returns to the Lericos, slower and in a clockwise motion now, as she shifts her thoughts from what has happened to what now lies ahead. And you can Google all those dances because they're all on YouTube. Thank you, YouTube.
Nice. Oh, well, we go back in time, I guess.
No, it's okay. It was timey-wimey. I needed the framing of the sunset and the stars.
We go back in time a little bit. To moments after you all were standing there in the grove. As you guys had spent that moment with Themisto as she blessed a grove of trees to grow big and strong. The sound of their bark and roots growing and becoming strengthened to last whatever might come this way. There is that moment as you guys stand there in silence before turning to return back to Pathos. And there, standing at the entrance of the grove, is Grand Matron Kina. The grandmotherly-like woman looks at all of you. And over at Themisto. I see what you have done here. But I will not be telling Laris.
I wished not to violate anything that Laris did wish of me. She wanted me not to bless this place in the name of the gods, so I did not bless this place in the name of the gods.
Clever. Though I see your words and your meaning by them, I fear that she would not take so kindly. But I know that you do so with good intentions. Perhaps one day she too will learn, as I have learned, that not everything is always as it seems. She walks over to one of the trees, places a hand on it, and you watch as it grows moss around her hand. She pulls it back, rubs her fingers, and sighs. Am I to assume then that all of you are so gifted beyond just our Pythia to be?
I'll cast Slide in my hand.
I'll nod.
She just nods.
Are there any fruit or anything already growing on the trees, or is it
It's just
more just
maybe some like acorn-like things, but I wouldn't say it's like a orchard or anything. I'm gonna say an orchid. That's not it.
as the rapid life cycle kind of comes to fruition, and when an acorn's about to drop, it stops in midair, right in the line of sight, and he catches it as it sort of like flies back towards his hand.
Estrid waves a hand, and the acorn in your palm grows into a little sprouting. She concentrates some dreamcraft into that acorn.
Nice.
Or just float it over towards Astrid because that's no longer my trick.
I see the blood of the ancients courses through all of you then. You notice her, Themisto, the change in her word, the words she uses to describe it. Where will you be going next?
We intend to set sail to Sparta. We have heard that the people who attacked this village, or rather, the cultists to which they were sold, have some type of foothold there, so we have to follow it.
I see. Well, I wish you the best.
Grand Matron,
Yes.
you had a change of heart about us using our powers. When you first revealed yourself to us as one of our own, you warned us not to pursue this thing.
No. I still see it as something foolhardy that will find yourselves in a early grave. But you are not my children. You are not my wards. You are free to do as you wish. I know that the dangers you seek are in an effort to protect those who cannot protect themselves, but perhaps it is the will of the world, the will of nature. Who are we to say? She looks around at the grove. Just kind of seems to nod to herself. I, for my part, will be content with this small piece. And I appreciate your work in aiding that piece and bringing what few people we have left home.
It is the very least we could do. If I may ask something of you, Grand Matron, I would say, although you may not use it to fight, please do not turn away from this piece of yourself. We have something very special, all of us, that we share. It would be a shame for it to go hidden for so long. I am familiar with such things. She'll kind of point to the hood that she does not have up right now, and then kind of point up at her snakes. We have to be the full globe of what we are. Yes, you say word.
I am not as skilled as you seem to think that I am, but I will do perhaps something when I can. But it may not be for another long while yet.
Mister just nods in acknowledgement, considering what she's recently been through.
Well, walk with an old woman back to her home?
I am sure would love to escort you. She looks to everybody, smiling.
As they start to lead with Kina, can I look around the grove for any flowers?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to pick some flowers, please.
Sure. Pick some flowers as you walk.
Mhm.
As you are following the old woman, Davos leans close to Themisto. Do you want us to carry her? It would be faster.
And it is all right, Davos. She is capable under her own power.
He just kind of shrugs.
You don't get to be her age without being able to handle it yourself.
Him and Xanthus kind of share a look and just kind of shrugging. Well, just nod to your wisdom. All right. Well, you guys walk back the rest of the afternoon. It takes a little bit longer than it did to get there to begin with, but not too much longer. She does hobble at a decent pace to get back to the village. Once you get back to the village, what are you guys doing?
Once we drop Kina off back at her home, I will give Themisto the little bouquet of flowers. What are you, Themisto?
Thank you, my sunbeam. I was so lost in the conversation, I didn't even notice you doing this.
I saw and I took advantage of it.
So, give you a quick little kiss. Perhaps there's an amphora on this hook of the sea that I can place these.
I've seen Astrid be very good with plants. I think she could help.
I'll ask this of her. It will be nice for us to carry the scent of these beautiful flowers across the sea with us.
Only half as beautiful as you.
You took my next line.
You hear the voice of God go, "Ugh!" It's just Aaron in the sky.
Yep,
Oh
yep.
no, it flooded again.
Oh no, it disconnected. Oh no.
Atlas
Oh,
Engine
yeah.
2? There is actually another ocean in the sky?
Lesbian
Yeah.
Boogaloo?
Did you say Boobaloo?
I didn't, but that works.
Okay.
I think I saw Laertes
Oh.
going like this.
Oh yeah.
As the walk kind of starts to die down and things are starting to settle, Laertes would like to find Astrid amongst the group. I sort of eye at the device that she's carries on her hip all the time. And goes. She mentioned that you're not as beholden to it as maybe you initially thought.
She did mention that these would be like training in a way. before I discover my path in shoal water or so. But this would help me guide, or help guide me towards my power. Um, Eventually, I will not need it. Yes.
I think, based on some of the things we've discussed so far, there's at least a small overlap between how you and I see the world. Perhaps when we're at sea next, we can try and work on some things together. See if we can't lessen that dependency or expand each other's knowledge a little bit.
I can give Themistocles some time to learn how to steer the ship.
I
If
was
she's willing.
watching. I think if I tried to spin the wheel would just spin me. But
For clarity, it's more of like a thing in the back that, rather than a wheel.
rudder, right?
Like a rudder,
That's
yeah.
the kind of thing, yeah.
I think if I tried to turn the rudder would turn me. But
Mind over matter.
there's a certain amount of force I have to exert when I do things like that. I'm not sure I could be so delicate. I think the amount of force that I would exert would just break it. But
if it's this, maybe may come to fix that, and it might not be such a bad thing. If you're wanting to see his work, just don't do it on the open seas.
I'm jealous that the others aboard the ship got to see him work. I hope I get to see it up close at some point. But speaking of which, I kind of look around to see if anyone's nearby and notice that we have a slight unintentional bubble of activity. I didn't get to apologize to you before. You mentioned before that you'd seen calamity strike your ship before. And while I tried to save lives when I lifted everyone when we went over the falls, it could not have been easy to see the ship go down without you. And I'm sorry if that caused hurt.
Everyone ended up being okay in the end. So, I appreciate you saving me and for thinking quick. But yes, it was a moment that broke my heart. Not, and I know that it was not your intention. I forgive you.
Sandra, if you could do me a small favor and just bring the microphone a little
A
closer.
little closer, yeah.
Laertes' powers doesn't extend to multi-spatial hearing. Let's try that again. I missed the last part.
Oh,
Oh, there we go.
You
Better.
sound very good, yes.
okay.
See, now
Shoot.
Themisto can hear you from all the way over there.
This was strictly meta. I was using sending to hear it or something. I don't know.
I know it was not your intention. Cause pain. You saved our lives. I forgive you.
Well, thank you. Shall we get back to the others?
Yes. Yes.
Go for it, Phoebe. What were you gonna say?
Once Laertes is done talking with Astrid, I would like to go talk to Laertes.
Did I drop a ship or again? Yours is already sailing, so I have nothing to do with that.
Laertes, I wanted to thank you for asking Ares about our lineage, even if he did not give us a direct answer. It's something I've wondered long before becoming an Orphic. I think I've made peace with never knowing. But again, when this new portion of the puzzle came to light with being an Orphic, how that means something different for our bloodlines and our lineage. I could never have been the one to ask myself. Don't have a glimmer of hope like that, but thank you for asking.
I wish I would have garnered more answers then. Sure, it can't have been easy to live without so many answers for so long.
Most of us in the temple know we'll never know. What is it just me or is Addie's being coy? Talking about the three of us.
I have a theory on that, but it's
Do you have to
rather
do it a bit
extreme.
more experimenting before?
No, more I lack so much information that I think even Zeus and Ares may or may not even be privy to. They say, or he said, they're not entirely sure how or why so many of us are happening now. And it's a rather astronomical coincidence that two people that should not be, kind of glances towards Themisto and Astrid, happen to be at the same time, in the same place at the same time. I don't really subscribe to synchronicity or coincidence. I don't know how much of the stories about Kronos are real or what we've ascribed to him after the fact. Allegories to fill in histories to try to understand our world. But if some glimmer of truth it's a silly thought, but you ever heard the word Kairos before?
I'm gonna say no, because me as Dreamy is trying to place it. Like, I know I've heard it before, but I can't remember what it is.
It might be Bahiran or Drayan, or if there's even a difference between them anymore, I'm not sure. It might even stem from his name. Or it may be inspired his name, who knows anymore. It means the supreme, sublime moment to act. And if he had such control over time, and if there's some aspect of us that transcends death, that gets another turn on the wheel, I find it interesting that so many of us are happening now when it matters.
Do you think we arise to meet the challenge? Or if there is our blood and this creature are bound to each other, to always appear together.
I'm not sure about the creature, but I've often wondered about what happens after we die.
I thought I knew. And then we learned that everything we knew about the gods is wrong. So at this point, I'm not sure. I guess next time we can ask what exactly Hades does.
I've long had the thought, and a lot of our research, Talia and I, trying to understand just that infinitesimal little dot, the trillions of those little dots that make up what you and I are. After a certain point, there's no difference between solid matter and energy. It's really the same thing. And it can't be destroyed, only changes form. So much of what you are, and he's going to point up at her forehead, all your ideas, your memories, your thoughts, and an echo that I just noticed. It's all energy, sparking back and forth. I like to think that when this all stops, the body, the matter, turns to nature. It feeds the next generation of plants, animals, the entire cycle. But this has to go somewhere. It doesn't just evaporate. Some cosmic background energy that we borrow from in order to become, eventually just give back to, like clouds bringing rain to the ground. Then the heat rises it back up again, changes, moves. It's never the same drop that hits the ground, but something of it is the same.
I've often thought of it as light. So I know much of that blame is on being raised in Apollo's temple. The sun continues to be the sun, so that individual beams may change from day to day. The amount of it that we see, it is still the sun.
The point I'm making is that, as Harry said, there may be some recurrence. Whether that is the ideas that we're tapping into. Maybe I'm not a reincarnation of someone, but we're all drinking from the same pond. Eventually, some thoughts, ideas, some part of, maybe not one person, but many, is who we ultimately are. I guess it adds just a further mystery about where you came from.
You as well. No, you do have the memory of your mother and your father, your sister. They make up you as well. Those drops of water you mentioned, all pouring into the vessel that is Laertes. Do you have any other siblings? Or is it just a sister?
Younger brother.
I feel by the tone of that voice that mayhaps he cut on your nerves quite a bit. Am I wrong?
Or we just never really connected. He was younger and able to go outside and get in all sorts of trouble. That wasn't me. Speaking of which,
You can keep going. I just have to turn down the volume on the tablet.
The timing.
kids, all brats.
Wow.
Prove me wrong. Just because we never quite got on doesn't mean that he wasn't a good person.
Was?
I haven't seen him in a while.
Ah. And your sister, did she take more after you and your mother or your father? Or perhaps she's
Different
her
mother.
own. Oh.
But strange enough, in some ways she's a bit like her.
And the rain falls and the cycle continues. And unique in different ways.
But we can talk about them a little bit later. I'm sure the rest of them are wondering what we're doing at the moment.
Thank you again. Eddie's makes me nervous. I don't know why though. I feel like I never say anything when he's around. But maybe we can push him further each time to unravel whatever mystery he was hinting at in regards to lineage. Or just ask Hades what's going on when we die.
From what I've observed, anyways, definitely feels as though he and Hekate aren't withholding. They're just guiding us up to a certain point for us to learn something for ourselves so that we can have a better understanding of what questions to even ask.
I think if they had tried to tell us everything we've experienced so far when we first met them, one, we couldn't process any of it. And two, we might have all left in different directions and said, goodbye, good luck, find someone else. I don't know, maybe not this group. We're all quite stubborn.
Well, I'm thinking of a fourth year calculus class versus first year basic arithmetic. You have to give someone the skill set, the understanding, the ramp. You just start them off with physics. It's not going to go well. Teaching is not... You can't do it all at once. It has to happen in increments. levels of understanding of a subject.
And the student has to be willing to put in the work. Trust me, many of my teachers tried to force it on me. Little to no avail.
Teacher also has to earn a little bit of that trust. At the moment, they have mine.
Mine as well.
And what are the rest of the group doing while we've been having this existential rant?
I'm imagining you guys got back to your place.
Those two talking about over there?
Metaphysics?
Well, you know, it's one of those like group walking and kind of sidling together as you walk.
Yeah, the
mister
mister would go
Getting a
ahead
face.
and that will occur, yes. Definitely finding herself a little amphora for the flowers. And then probably checking in with Cypress real quick. And just I never properly thanked you for assisting in my prayer this morning. I
Oh,
appreciate it.
Of course.
I apologize for being a little intense, but I felt like it was necessary to summon a god of war, so
No apology necessary. Was happy to help with such a matter.
we were quite a match for each other. It
We were.
was nice.
And thank goodness for that, I guess.
Indeed. Somehow I get the feeling that we would have been able to rouse a similar result had I lost. But
I suppose. I'm unsure of how such things work. I've always just taken your word for it.
I know more than ever now that while many take the Petia's word, taking mine at face value is not something perhaps we should always do.
Has
There
yet
are
to
always
steer
ways,
us incorrectly.
perhaps. And that is the thing, isn't it? As we make these choices, with these words that we say, right? Sometimes there is what we're saying on the surface, and sometimes there is the truth underneath. So, sometimes it remains hidden to even us.
Subtext?
I could not tell you. This is a foreign word to me, but
Literary and poetic matters are things that I get glimpses of in my memory, but never really was good at knowing.
With your heart as full as I know it is for your love, it does not surprise me that poetry is something that catches you. Anyway, thank you again.
Poems sound better when certain people are saying them.
Is it that is the case, or is it poems sound better when certain people are saying them to certain people?
Both.
But yes, thank you again. We will have to spar again sometime when we are not trying to call upon the gods.
I would be happy to. I also very much want to know the skills of Davos and Xantis.
They're literally
Because-
standing right behind Themisto. As Themisto is talking to you, they're standing there with her.
He says it like to Themisto and then just kind of looks up at them both.
You see that they are both have they're very much paying attention to you and this conversation. They haven't said
I am-
anything, but they are paying attention.
I am sure if you afford them the opportunity, they would love to accept such a challenge.
In
I mean-
synchronicity, they nod.
Whenever you both would like. I mean, less of, not just out of competition, of course, but I'm curious to know what you both are capable of.
They look at each other and look at you. And then look to Themisto to see what your words are.
Are you wanting her approval for you to beat me up? Is that what that look is?
More, we want to make sure that she is there to pick up the pieces if there's anything that falls off.
I have been known to
whatever
drop my javelins.
And to use them quite effectively too, I have seen.
Well, if I toss them to Phoebe, then they tend to go better.
Have you only done that the one time when?
Yes.
Okay, then the mister's gonna be like, huh?
Oh yeah, and you didn't see it. Oh, you should know. If you ever want to see something really cool, throw something at Phoebe.
There is a moment of like childlike. It calls together Sparrow and Grackle energy that both of the brothers look at each other and smile and then look back at them.
No.
I will preface this that she should be aware of what is about to happen. Don't surprise her. It's better
Didn't
if
warn
she
me
knows.
last time.
He calls out to wherever you are. I shouted at you.
No, that wasn't an in character comment. She's too busy talking metaphysics with Laertes right now.
But yes, if she knows, you will throw something at her. She can catch and chuck it. Good for combat. She pinned someone to a wall in the last one.
I see. Well, I don't doubt that she's capable. Perhaps you and Xanthus and Davos and Phoebe can all have a little bit of a taste as we sail on the Hawk of the Sea. Hey, Capitanios.
You're muted, Capitanios.
Aye.
I would be very much looking at both of the brothers. I would be honored to have a sparring competition.
Perhaps when we have trained you some, we want to make sure that the advantage is fair.
Perhaps you will know how much training I need if we have a sparring competition first.
You can have a sparring competition on my ship when we get to sailing.
That is sort of my thoughts too. Is the crew ready to go? I know it's late in the day, but that should be no problem for you, huh?
Yeah.
Was it?
Oh, to me? Wait, was that to me or to
Mhm.
Cyprus?
To the Capitanios,
Oh, okay.
who is the master of this ship. Astrid. Yes.
Yes, we can leave. It is. We spent the day of resting.
Then good. It is important for us to set sail, huh? Though I am glad we are in high spirits now. Let's hold on to that.
How far are we from the ship at this point?
I mean, you're in town.
Okay.
You're basically having this conversation around the front of the house you've been staying at.
Yeah, okay.
Have we all retrieved all our things? Astrid, you?
I'm good. I slept in the ship last night.
Yes, right. Cypress, what about you? Everything is gathered up?
I carry very little with me.
I feel like you carry a very lot, but you carry it on you all the time.
Well, I wear a lot.
You do wear a lot.
I've got this bag and some javelins, but I think I left most of the javelins on the boat.
A frugal warrior.
I do have some things to fetch. And Themisto carrying the little amphora of flowers. S- Such is the life of a priestess. I must have all of my tools. So I will gather them up, and I will meet you right back out here in a moment.
Right.
And then, as she walks towards the home and gets closer to Phoebe and Laertes, as they're wrapping up their conversation, she's like, "We are making ready to set sail again to Sparta. Are you both ready to go?"
I would like to see what's happened between Laris and Onator.
Of course. You make a good point about this thing. We should do that before we leave. I will start to bring my things to the ship, and if you wish to see to that.
Did you not want to see her before we go?
I suppose I ought to. In that case, if you don't mind the extra time that I might take. Phoebe, can you help me carry a few of these things?
Of course, you tend to have a lot of things to carry. Especially now that you've got your arms full of the flowers.
There's beelines out of this.
You, Felix. And
So yes.
yeah, Phoebe will help Themisto gather because you've got all of your priestess accessories and your priestess garbs that you did not put on that morning.
This is true. Thank
Okay.
you for carrying my priestess accessories for me.
All right. So, within short order, you guys get most of your stuff packed on the ship before you head deeper into town to say your goodbyes, right? Okay. It's not. You find Laris before you find Onator. She is in the square where the people are kind of moving about and stuff. Grand Matron Kina told me that you visited the Grove. I hope you appreciate the situation we find ourselves in with limited supplies and such, but rest assured, we can take care of ourselves with what we have left.
I have no doubt that you will find a way to make everything work. You are a strong people who have spent through much, and they have a good leader now.
I will try to do as best as my father taught us. Where are you headed now?
We're off to Sparta. Holy baby. Never mind. I'm not in the.
Aren't you there?
Am I there?
You can absolutely be there if you like. I was actually hoping maybe someone else would answer that question, so Themisto isn't
Okay.
just speaking for the group to the
Yeah.
NPCs.
Yeah, I can be. We're heading to Sparta to continue looking for the creature that plagued the temple.
I hope you find what you are looking for, whatever that might be.
Big flying demon creature.
Part of me wishes I could forget. Wow.
Hey, Laris. As we go to Sparta, Perhaps you would want us to inquire about the Spartans sending some soldiers here. Just to help her out while you're recovering, huh? I know you
If-
don't like Athenians, but what about Spartans?
If you find it within your means to do so. But please do not extend yourself if you do not have to.
Davos and Xentis are good men, and I'm sure that they will help us find someone who can assist you, all of you here.
Then we look forward to any aid that Sparta might be sending our way.
You know, our Capitanius is Athenian too. You should not frown on all of them.
I am aware. She gives a really tight smile. I appreciate you for bringing us here safely.
I'm just glad I'm just glad that you were able to come back home. All of you made it.
As am I. Well, if you will excuse me, I have to meet with the village elders. She looks at Laertes. Thank you for coaxing him to come forward.
Hmm. What is to happen to him now?
That is what we are going to decide.
Have the options been put forward?
Her eyes lose focus. She seems to look in that 1,000-yard stare before she kind of comes back. Not yet. I have some in mind. She gets very cold.
If
But
I may
there-
offer a small one. I will not defend chain of his actions. I do not feel him to be an evil man. And I think if he were to spend his life trying to atone by helping to rebuild, he doesn't have to be anyone's friend. But a life spent doing something with that time is better than simply wasting it at the end of a noose.
I will put your words to the council. Thank you for your time and your words of wisdom and the actions that brought us all home safely.
Thank you for entertaining the thought.
She looks conflicted.
Hmm.
She gives Themisto a polite and deep bow, nods to the rest of you, before turning and heading towards one of the larger houses that are at the edges of this square.
I wish you, Alaris, enjoyed this stream. And I'm gonna cast guidance on her. May you make the right decision.
She stops with your hand on her shoulder, nods to you, and then continues to keep moving. What are you guys wanting to do?
Laertes. I am sure that is a hard thing to hear. Do you want us to try to speak to the other elders?
Perhaps Kina.
I just think he's a foolish young man. No worse crime than that. I'd like to try and spend a bit of time to help him if we can. But I also have to understand that it's the decision of these people.
It is, but a trial is right of all the peoples of the Aegean. So surely they would welcome if you him to speak in his defense.
If it takes time, I do not think it will hurt us to spend one more night here.
Let's see how it's going in there first before we maybe decide anything.
Hey. Cypress, Cavatanios, are you both alright with this as well?
With staying the evening once more.
If it should be necessary.
And we can always stay on the ship and leave at first light.
I am comfortable with that.
Let's see how the events unfold.
Okay. All right. Well, so you're going to try and sit in on this. Is that the intent?
Maybe to speak with.
Oh yeah, do you want to talk to the defendant first?
Yeah, I was going to try and find him, but
I think that if you're like meta discussion here for a minute, Laertes, if you're okay doing that, Themista will go drop her stuff off at the ship. And because I feel like she probably doesn't need to involve herself in that discussion too, with just Onator himself, right? So, and then if we end up sticking around, we'll reconvene.
that works.
All right. Well, in that case, I am going to say we're going to take an early break.
Nope.
Because
You gotta go plan a trial.
yes, I guess so.
Well, actually, maybe then that's an above the table conversation we should have is, do we want to do this or get underway?
Whose trial was it again? One of the
Onator.
people, one of the people that we brought with us.
The guy that admitted to this kind of being his fault. But
Oh,
not
that
really,
guy.
but
Yeah, and we're not in a big city. It could just be a bunch of village counselors sitting around a table and deciding what happens to him. But you know, Laertes, I'm sure, feels somewhat responsible. So
I'm for either one.
I'm good with whatever. I just hadn't planned for it.
I guess, Graham, what would be best for you and Laertes? Do you want to see it played out, or do you want like a summary?
right, like you could roll it out.
Um, I would be good to roll it out, but that might be a bit of a short change.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. All right. So we'll be right back. We're going to go to break, enjoy the little previews again, and we will be back in a moment. back. Oh boy. Okay. I put my thinking cap on and came up with a whole trial really fast. It's cool. It's fine. It's fine.
Trial by combat. Cool. Got it.
A
Who will be his champion?
Davos. To the death.
Somehow he is both the Viper and the Mountain.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Alrighty, guys. Where are we? We'll do this one. All right. You follow shortly after, like, doing a quick little conference with your crewmates. Who is Larities? You are going and following after Laris.
Yeah.
The rest of you going back to the ship.
Yeah.
Correct.
I'll just ask Laertes real quick if he wants anyone with him, because if not, Phoebe won't press. But don't want Laertes to feel like he has to go by himself.
No, he'd be fine with it at company.
Sorry, did you say with company or without company?
With company.
All right. So Phoebe and Laertes, the Misto Astrid Cypress, you guys going back to the ship for now?
At least
And then-
temporarily.
Temporarily, yeah. Just to get the ship members to like, hey, we're gonna prepare to start leaving.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because right now
Start the car.
we're looking at it's like sunset right now, so or evening is approaching evening.
I feel like it was just morning.
If
How
it
long was
goes
that
bad,
walk?
Well, I was
bad,
walking
grab
over
him and run.
there, and then
And during
walking
all these
back,
conversations
all the
is when
conversations.
Phoebe's recap happens at the beach.
Hmm.
We finally caught up.
No, because this morning was like another trial by combat, and then talking with Ares.
The hike, and then the blessing, and then the hike back.
Yeah.
But with Meemaw this time.
With me more this time. The old lady from The Princess and the Frog.
I don't know that. Have you seen those old ladies at the mall, like power walking? She was just like down the hill.
Yep, just like that. Okay. Laertes and Phoebe following following
Oh
behind
no, there's a dog.
following behind Laris shortly after you see the Laris goes into this one building. You also go in, and this doesn't look like it's necessarily someone's house, but it's kind of warehousey looking. It's got a bunch of storage, just got a bunch of open space, but it looks like it had at one time been used for storing of things. Currently inside you see Grand Matron Kina, you see Laris, you see Agenor, who was the fisherman that you guys had taken along with you. You also see one of the other older men that had been with him and that had been on the ship as well, and Elene. So those are the people that you recognize. There are two other women here whomst you do not know. But they are all seem to be talking gathered together. Laris turns to you as you enter and kind of scrunches her eyebrows forward, and it's like, can I help you?
I was hoping to speak to Onator or on his behalf, if that is allowable.
She looks like she's about to say something, and then Kina puts a hand on her arm and like, you may speak with Onator if you wish. She nods towards a doorway off to the right-hand side from where you entered.
Thank you. And he'll amble in that direction.
In there, in this side room, you see that there is a it's just like a small, it looks like it would be like the office to said warehouse, a small room. It's got a couple of chairs in it, and one of the fishermen seems to be standing guard with Onator just sitting there in the chair looking like the biggest kicked puppy ever. As he's just staring down at the ground. The fisherman turns to you. What business do you have?
I'm here to speak with the man before the proceedings.
He kind of looks back and forth for a minute and then nods and then goes out and exits the room. But doesn't like, he just basically steps to the other side of the door. He's not going to go very far.
Yeah. Nothing I'm going to say is intended to be very secretive anyways, so. Is he sitting in a chair on the floor?
He's sitting on a chair.
Okay. I guess I'm going to crouch down in front of him slowly, and for a young man, Laertes, I think this is probably one of those moments when he looks a bit older than he is, because it's that slow crouching somebody might do when they're just a bit sore and a bit past their 30s.
How dare you?
I'm the oldest one here. Shut your face.
How old is Lourdes?
I mean me.
Oh, okay.
I have to commend you for having the courage to tell them.
I don't know if it was necessarily courage, but I suppose thank you.
What do you expect to happen?
If I was to go by the reaction, particularly that of Laris, about the same as if I had gone to go back to my father.
Okay. What do you want to have happen?
Honestly, the expectation is killing me faster than they probably could.
Perhaps.
I just want a decision to be made. I'm at peace with whatever comes. If they decide to,
Look me in the eyes and say that again.
I cannot. Very slowly, he starts to look up at your face.
Do you want me to try and help?
What kind of question is that?
A simple one. Forget the house and Wise for just a moment. None of it matters. Do you want me to try and help? Do you want to live?
I don't deserve to live.
It's not what I asked you. I'm going to put my hand on his cheek and force him to look at me.
He's starting to cry. I'm scared.
Good. It means there's something in there that matters.
Because of me, so many others died. Why shouldn't I condemn myself to Hades with the rest of them?
Do you want to atone? And before you answer, death is easier than atonement. Atonement takes work.
I would like to try, but I don't know how.
I'm going to move my hand down to both of his. What do they look like, the palms? Like, he's a young man, but looking like he's like sailing, like he's been doing that probably to some extent all of his young life.
But not amongst the crew.
It's not as rough as maybe as they could be,
No,
but he does know some work.
a little bit.
The only real option for you right now for living is if you are prepared to see these hands rougher than they've ever been or will ever be. That will be the measure of your atonement, if I can even convince them of that. You may not feel true freedom again if this works. The punishment, I think, if they allow it, will be a daily reminder of your decisions, the decisions of your father. As if it goes through, you would be forced to live here,
And if he was
rebuilding.
And if he is to find me here, then what difference does it make?
What makes you think he'd look here?
He's well connected. There would somehow a tradesman, a fisherman would tell tale of something to someone that he knows. Especially as I know he will be searching everywhere for what he lost. It is only a matter of time before he comes here.
Possibly. The problem for him is that it's only a matter of time before I visit him.
Oh, he looks up at you.
He also has questions that I demand the answers to. He may not get a chance to go scouring every little island in the Aegean looking for one lost ship. Now I ask you, to live is to atone. Do you want to live?
He looks back down at his hands again. And nods very slowly.
Good man. Let's see what I can do. And he's going to stand up, slowly, of course. And he's going to walk back out into that room.
You can see that the council of people that are here are currently having a discussion. And as you exit the room with Phoebe,
Mhm.
Laris and Kina and then the rest turn to face you. Kina speaks first.
Did you speak with the man?
I did.
It is my understanding that you have spoken to him yesterday as well. And that it was you who urged him to come forward and confess.
I did.
Do you still believe that that was such a good plan?
Yes.
What would you have him do?
You want justice? Is that the intended goal?
You look around at the gathered people. A handful, just nod. Laris, Agenor, and two others look nearly enraged when they nod. You can see the anger seething, the pain seething through their expressions.
For a very, very brief moment, Laertes forgets where he is. And it feels as though he is having a philosophical debate in one of his classes. Or watching one. Killing him would be brief. Whatever solace you might take with it would be even more brief and more hollow. And nothing will have been gained. Justice would be a man who broke something, though it was perhaps not his intent, and not all of his actions were the ones that led to the breakage, the destruction, death. But he still had a part to play in it. Argue that if you want to see justice, you don't put him to death. You put him to work. Moving stones. Lifting cut down trees to help make new homes, repair old ones. make him part of the community he brought low, so that he could understand the totality of his actions. What he almost inadvertently destroyed. Every day that he lives among you will be a reminder to him in his smallest moments, when he may have been spending the day fooling himself into thinking that he is of this village now. He'll remember why he was here. Every moment he will be punishing himself while helping to rebuild your homes. To end his life would not be just. It would be a flinch. When he could still contribute.
And what of the deaths of my parents? Or the deaths of Monia's husband, Agonor's wife and child? What of the deaths of countless in our village? Laris is like trying to keep her voice down through gritted teeth and tears streaming from the corners of her eyes in frustration.
Did he kill them?
She stops.
His actions, yes, perhaps, brought the raiders here. His father likely commanded the theft of the relics upon that ship that those raiders were after. Him stopping here for the night was foolish, not evil or hateful. But he still had his part to play in all of it. So let him have a part in continuing or making sure that this village continues. I'm not asking any of you to treat him as friend, family. Every day he will live with the knowledge that he is other. And over time, your justified anger will stay, but lessen, become embers and coals, but persist. He may not feel it, but he'll know it. Every time he looks at you, every time you look at him, every time for one moment he sees happiness or joy, he will know his part in that. That is a punishment that will last longer than the brief, momentary flick of a blade. and will be of far more use.
They all look at each other. They all look to Grand Matron Kina. Laris is very much grinding her teeth. In front, you can see the clenching of her jaw. And she looks to Kina with expectation of a similar face. She has not looked at her this entire time and she's been looking at you, but she looks at her with like, what are you, how could you, to see if she's going to be standing with her. And you can immediately see that the reaction on Kina's face is not like not like these others. She stays calm and collected and just nods as at your words. Make a persuasion check. I have rolled for each of the people present, and then found the average of them and have the DC.
I'm gonna roll that again because I can. That was only marginally better. That is a 10.
We advocate for advantage. It was very well thought out.
Wow.
Holy crap.
Oh,
Amazing.
man.
My first roll was an 8.
Wow.
Whoa.
Larry said it all so good. Phoebe had nothing else to add, so it was like, I can't use the help action.
Wanted to use guidance, but that wouldn't have lasted very long.
Kina looks over at you, Laertes. After having kind of like listening and kind of, she starts like looking down at the ground and nodding as she's listening to your words, and like had been looking over at the other members assembled. Then I move that he do as Laertes has said. That he help us in the rebuilding. Laris looks outraged. Are you serious? Agenor puts a steadying hand on Laris's shoulder. Killing him will not bring back those that we lost. Grand Matron Kina, I too move that he be put to work in rebuilding Pathis. And one by one, the other members of the council nod in agreement, except for Laris. Then it has been decided. Thank you for your insightful words.
Thank you for allowing me the audience.
Laris storms out of the room. I will go speak with the young man.
I need a name from him before I leave.
By all means.
Thank you.
It is good that Laris has so many wise counselors with her. I know she is not in an easy position.
It is said that her counselors are Dolarides.
To the counselors.
Okay.
Kina like nods, but then just like she has still much to learn, but her heart is in the right place.
Maybe I'll learn the lessons that have been taught through this trial.
Okay. You go speak with Onatar.
Mm-hmm.
We'll say that this is after Kina has talked to him.
Okay. That makes sense.
He comes out of the room. Heavy tracks of wetness down his eyes. And he comes up to you and embraces you.
I imagine for a moment he almost loses balance. He just wasn't expecting it.
It is a very strong hug.
Yeah. And there's where he was stunned by the display and then just sort of settles into perhaps giving him a certain amount of consolement and affection that was probably denied to him, that led to at least a certain amount of his blind following. And I just sort of let him take as long as he needs to. Assuming it finishes within the calendar year.
Yeah, eventually he lets go.
Mm-hmm. I just cup his cheek again and force him to look at me. This is not truly freedom. In many ways, you are going to feel as though you are a member of this community, and yet not. That is going to be a hard life. But a life you can still make something with. Use it.
I understand. And I will. I appreciate you speaking up on my behalf.
Learn from this. I need to know his name.
Whose?
Your father's. I have my guesses. It's a very small list. But save us all the time.
His name is Lucas.
You can spell that in chat for me at some point. Doesn't have to be right now, but
yeah.
Cheers.
Did I just spell an NPC name right on the first try?
Same.
It's never gonna happen again.
His name Lucas Iwalker.
Considering the amount of time he
Very
had
nice.
between we're gonna have a trial versus having the trial, I feel like he just Kaiser Sose whatever he had around him.
It was so good.
He's in Athens.
That
You
part I
ask-
gathered.
If you ask anybody,
I know who it is.
they will know who he is.
Oh,
Aaron, have I heard that name before? I feel like there's a very small list of people that are in that kind of work. And a list of people that Laertes does not interact with.
Lukos would be a name that you're familiar with, but the fact that he is dealing with old Bahiran technology or artifacts is news. He is a well-known merchant in Athens, but tends to dabble in the more of the black market things.
Okay.
Not quite like a crime lord, but just on the cusp of staying above being caught.
He's basically a Borgia without becoming a pope.
Sure.
It's a merchant prince.
Yeah. But this is both surprising, and then also you can imagine it not being that surprising, because knowing the amount of money that can be garnered from salvaging Bahiran technology lost at sea or buried in ruins, it was probably only a matter of time before a slum lord like this would try and get into the business.
Thank you, Onathor.
I should be thanking you.
Don't thank me yet. Death was the easy way out.
It still might come for me, you know.
Maybe.
But
But
until
live-
then, oh, sorry. No, you go ahead.
But live today.
I will.
I'll kind of give him that pat on the cheek and step back.
And leave good behind each and every day.
He reaches for your hand, Phoebe, and gives a little kiss on the back of the hand.
You and this island will find the light again. It will take work. It'll take a lot of work. But you must. You cannot stay in the darkness forever. It will consume you. A little spark each day will one day grow into a fire.
Agenor comes over. All right, young man. At this time, I show you where you will be staying now. He leads him out. The rest of you, as you headed back to the ship, Themisto, Astrid, Cyprus, Davos, and Xanthus at your side as always.
What time is it now?
Dusk. It's
Dusk.
like basically getting to twilight now.
Okay.
But you get back to your ship to go put supplies in and get the ship ready for sailing, or are you gonna stay another night? Because you can stay another night if you want. It's just That is up to you.
We can talk to Laertes and see how the trial went, and from that point.
Yeah, at this point, we're just showing up at the ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'd probably just tell the crew that what Laertes and Phoebe went off to do, but that we are going to be preparing to leave within the next day.
Okay.
Or tonight, if it goes well.
I mean,
Just to gather what
yeah.
they need.
You can, yeah, for sure you can leave by night if you wish. You just have a lot more limited visibility. So that is completely up to you. But yeah, you get back to the ship and they're getting things ready. Was there something you wanted to say or do, Themisto, while you came back here? I remember you said something you wanted to see the crew, but I don't remember if that was.
Yeah, I just was hoping for
Check.
a little bit of roleplay interactions with with those cats and Astrid. Like Astrid, how far is Sparta from here? Is it a long way to sail?
Looking at the map, I would say probably about 300 miles. That's not the thing that they use.
No.
Well, because you said they
yeah.
did is Serifos,
Serifos, yeah.
right? So
It's
then
almost
to Sparta.
sailing, yeah, straight across. I mean, if you were to get from Serifos to literally Sparta, which is in the middle of that.
That's all going down. Right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking like towards Prasae or something.
Oh yeah. So if you were to go, because yeah, that's like the first town that's on the coast right there.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at probably close to 75 miles ish.
Oh, it's not bad. Okay, I was just looking at the
Yeah,
the little measurement thing that's at the bottom there,
yeah.
and like kind of
Because isn't that whole span is 100 miles, and it's not quite. If I had to guesstimate,
I was looking at that right.
Yeah, if I had to guesstimate,
right.
It's not the entirety of that space. So you're looking at like 75 miles or so.
That's fine. Okay, I was thinking of like, I don't know why I saw it as like just
each
one
little thing is yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's fine. Then.
Nope.
Then I'll say that 75 miles.
Or the equivalent thereof.
Of that in Grecian measurements.
So, fun fact, there were multiple ways of measuring that I should drop a link sometime in Table Banter because I did share it behind the scenes. But the stadium was a unit of measure. However, there was disagreement about the size of a stadium. In fact, even the Athenian Stadium is slightly larger than the Delphic Stadium. So if Astrid were to say this to Themisto, she would actually be a little bit off, not by a lot, in terms of how far she's thinking it is.
So Aaron, once again, you were finding that the Stadia is unreliable.
Aw, poor Stadia. Listen, it got me through early days of computer usage, so it served its purpose.
But, yeah, so Themisto, not even a full Stadia. That's very good. Well, wait. No, I'm very wrong about that. It's several Stadia.
And you travel about 5 to 7 miles an hour. Yeah.
2.5 days.
You can get. It says well, according to the Longship, which is the stats that we are using for this, you can get about 120 miles per day.
Oh.
If you were traveling like the entirety of a day. So That depends a lot on wind and conditions, which generally work better during the day than at night, generally. But you're still looking about 5 miles per hour.
So if we left at like sunrise, we could still make it there by the next evening.
Yeah. Or at least,
Yeah.
for sure.
As long as
So-
nothing bad happens.
This is like really, really rough calculation because I did some rounding and stuff. But there are generally about 8.5 stadia per mile.
I also did calculations and I found out that we are 656 stadia away from our
You see,
destination.
I only think we're 637 stadia away.
Okay, but what is that in American football fields?
If the stadia is 600 feet,
We'll convert
Um,
that to yards.
Oh my gosh, we're
Yeah,
here.
I did-
Back,
I did-
we're
I
back
did
at the
it
math
already, but-
again. Part 2.
I'm gonna have
ended
to
up being
cut this
like-
into another reel.
it ended up being like 39,370.
It's perfect. Honestly, we're
39,000.
pretty close on this for ancient people estimating this distance from different places where we have different units of stadium.
So yeah, you're looking about 15 hours travel to get to mainland ish.
That's perfect.
If you were to
'cause
leave.
He likes to travel.
Okay.
Okay.
But it's good to know. Such a trip is nothing for you and Eric's and the rest of the crew.
We traveled from Athens all the way up to Ilum and well, stopping in between. So not too bad.
I left from the port of Athens as well as I came to Ilam. It made more sense to go by land and head that direction than to go straight from Delphi.
Oh my goodness. As you guys are back on the ship and getting preparations, Eric's comes over to both Themisto and Astrid and the rest of you guys who are there trying to stare at the map and try to gauge distances. So we are headed to Sparta now.
Yes.
Are we?
Well, we're headed to the coast, and then from there we can make our way towards the Spartan capital. So maybe it would be wise to travel to Epidaurus Limera, a more well-known port city, and make our way up from there. Is everyone in agreement?
It is probably best to make stops. At least for those of us who are less well traveled on the seas.
Okay.
Captain,
That was. Go ahead, Eric's. Sorry.
Captain, when you have a moment, may I speak with you?
She's going to wave to the others and bring Eric's over to the side.
Okay. What were you gonna say to Davos?
Davos Santis. Did you ever decide to take up the oars with the rest of the crew at some point?
We can, and we have. Whatever you
Aye.
wish.
I imagine you must have. You do not need to. However, if they are looking for extra hands, I'm sure it would be of use, you know? I don't think anything is going to strike out at us as we're on this ship. And if it does, you are quick-footed.
There is a prideful smile with the compliment. We will try.
Good. I would throw myself, but this is something that is outside of my ability.
It is beyond It is beneath a priestess of your station. You should not have to. But they nod and kind of go along with that. Astrid.
Mhm.
Eric pulls you over to, once you are over there off to the side of the ship. In Aquan, she speaks to you. What is going to happen whenever we reach landfall?
When we reach around, what do you mean exactly?
If you are making your way to Sparta, are we to travel with you? Or are we to wait for you to return?
I would like you with me. But this particular journey might be dangerous again, and I don't want what happened at that waterfall to happen again. I'd like you and the rest of the crew to stay in Ferry when we reach it until we come back.
When the monsters boarded the ship before we reached the island, I was sure that he had found me again. And when we fought them off, and just seems to struggle to find words.
I won't ever let him find you. And if he happens to, I will be dead on the ground before he gets a hand on you.
She nods. And then she hugs you. I appreciate. She starts speaking in regular Hellenic. I appreciate everything that you have done for me up until this point. From taking me from a life that I did not think I would survive, and showing me that I could fight for what I wanted. I don't think I ever tell you that enough. She kisses your cheek. After looking around to see if anybody was looking. She holds your hands in hers. I do love you too. I just don't. I don't want to make promises that I don't know if I can keep. Akana is going to be after me until until he can find peace beneath the rocks, or me at his side. And I have faith that you and your new god friends will prevent that from happening. But there is always a chance. We never know when he will strike. Just be careful. She smiles.
Take my hands.
She already had them in hers.
She takes out the sapling acorn that Lertis had floated over to her. She cast a spell that she learned long ago when she worked with Artemis. Anastomosis. If this sapling shows any sign of weakness or begins to wilt, it will be because you are in harm's way. I will come to you. But I will carry it with me while I venture out to Sparta. It represents your life force. Okay.
She nods. We still have time yet.
Erixi, you taught me to appreciate these small things in life. I had been so caught up on becoming a captain and my previous journeys fighting monsters, but seeing you and being with you, it changes that. I won't let you go. And he will be a bloated fish, belly up, if he gets close to you.
He already was a bloated fish. If he got any more bloated, he would have burst.
Perhaps we can hope for this.
She lets her hands go, nods, straightens her tunic out a little bit. Do business.
I'll kiss her on the cheek and head up. Putting the sapling before I go into some kind of container. See about finding some dirt and filling it up.
Potted plant. You are going to be a plant, mommy. Hold on. One more thing I wanted to do. Cypress. This Davos comes up to you. Cypress,
Yes?
I'm curious. As a Theban, how do you eat citrus?
Is there a joke that I'm missing?
No. I'm curious. He pulls out an orange.
I normally would peel off the peel with my finger or a knife.
And as you're talking, he takes a bite out of the whole thing. He's like,
Does the peel taste good?
is it supposed to?
No.
Not really. I was just curious. Takes another bite of the orange.
And less wasteful, I guess.
Taking the time to peel it. It sounds too dainty for me. But I was curious.
Do you eat all your fruit that way?
There is a glimmer in his eye. Wouldn't you like to know? He turns around and walks away.
Yet again, I feel like I've been made fun of.
I will say
Also,
that
what rumors are spreading about Thebans in Sparta? Those weirdos, they peel their oranges.
Imagine that's the entire crux of the dislike between the two cultures is just they were sitting down together eating food and just went crunch.
It's that Dr. Seuss book where one side of the wall puts butter on the top of the bread and the other side of the wall puts butter on the bottom side, and they're like, freaks.
Well, that's the joke about France and England is this is an apple. Pum. 500 years of war. Yeah, I feel like playing Crusader Kings.
Only to keep that diversion for one more second. One of my favorite French words is for potato. A pomme de terre. An earth apple.
You know, it's actually the way it works in Farsi as well. Sib zemini,
really?
ground apple is a potato.
Nice.
I love that. There are no trees growing.
On the island of Thebes.
I specifically didn't mention what it looked like whenever we had the vision last week.
So we can just decide once we get there.
We'll just never the world.
Cyprus just doesn't know what an island is.
Well,
It's a
It is
cultural
land.
island.
It is
You know,
land.
it's like sociologically, it's an island because it's ruled by elementals and like.
No man is an
Feel
island.
her.
No, but
Cyprus,
Thebes
you
is.
just. It's too big. It's too big to be an island.
all right.
It's part of the continent.
As we'll say that as the Mr. Astor in Cyprus and accompaniment, we're about to head off the ship to go return to Laertes and Phoebe. You see Laertes and Phoebe are walking down your direction.
As we're walking back, I'd like to say to Laertes, or
Sure.
you raised your hand, you can go first.
No. I was actually just going. I'm waving to the group, but since
Oh.
that's wibbly wobbly now.
Oh, he's waving.
Just,
It
he
went
just
well.
knows how to
And we just
fly-
like
knows to
turn
fly.
around and go back the other direction.
Yeah, it goes
Oh
from.
wait, that wasn't Laertes. That was somebody else
Oh,
who looked a lot like him.
We're gonna say Phoebe.
Laertes, that was wisdom beyond even your years, I think.
Oh, I don't know about all that. But I'm pleasantly surprised that it went that way.
Yours made a lasting impact here.
Hope so. But it's also a good lesson that the victim should also never be the judge.
It might take Laris decades, but I hope that one day she will see the wisdom in this decision.
It's not going to be easy for anyone here,
No.
but maybe now it'll be just a slight bit easier to cope with. To know the truth. At least enough of it.
The shared goal to work towards. And maybe having him here will keep them from shutting themselves away forever.
Eventually I'm going to have to make my way to Athens.
Would not like to be on the receiving end of whatever you plan to do.
It's not that. It sees the ship in sight and it does start to head in that direction a bit. Just trying to understand the greater scope of all the pieces in the puzzle. And if on occasion we can put the fear of God into someone that deserves it, all the better. Thank you
And
for
this is
being
when
there.
Sorry.
Yeah, thanks for accompanying.
I'm sorry I could not be more help, but you seemed like you had it pretty under control. Could not think of anything else to add that you had not already said.
Hand swing a sword, fire an arrow. I can talk fast and hope for something good to come out of it.
Is a good weapon to wield, your words. And I feel like I learned something watching your skill.
Oh, I've had practice, I guess.
Vivi Laertes. What is the news?
He's going to put his hands to work.
Hmm.
I don't know what that'll be like in a year, 10. But I'm hoping more good will come out of it than strife in the end.
I am glad that they showed leniency.
Most of them.
Clarice was not happy with the decision.
Hmm.
But she is surrounded by a strong council. I think they will help support her as she learns to lead.
I can't blame her.
It is a hard thing she's been through. And you are right that it's going to take the people around her to guide her through.
But we have other places to be.
We do. Capitanios was talking to me about the stadia that he will take us to get to Sparta. It is a bit of a travel. We are certainly going to have to make camp along the way, so perhaps we should think about whether it is we want to set sail now or not.
Capitanios, I know you're a child of the stars, but do you prefer to leave tonight or in the morning?
Have the energy to leave tonight. If everything has been settled.
I think so.
Let's set sail.
Cyprus. I'm going to come up to you kind of out of the prying ears of the Spartan boys. All right, now that we're on the ship, when do we take them down a notch?
I hope it's soon.
I can tell you are itching for it.
I'm trying to be level-headed about it because I don't want to assume it'll be a victory, much less anything else. And I don't know if they like me. And that's not me saying I know they don't. I can't read them.
I can tell they're getting under your skin. Every conversation you have with them.
Davos just walked up to me and asked how Thebans eat citrus, and then he ate an orange skin. And
Did he
acted, and then had the body language of I'm the weird one. So I don't know what's going on. I think I'm being intimidated.
No. Hey, Davos.
Yes.
We're on the ship. The Capitano said that could be our arena. You ready?
He looks immediately to Themisto, then back over at you.
Mister's just gonna go like this.
You wish to spar now?
What, you can't fight under the starlight? Or can Spartans only fight in the day?
Uh,
I mean,
Are
I
you
serve
Spartan?
Apollo, but even I can fight in the stars.
They're just gonna do a real dumb thing. Are you Spartans or Sparkants?
everyone takes 5d10 psychic damage. If you survive it, good for you.
Do Davos and Xantus, or have they heard that before?
Now they're immune. They've heard it before.
Didn't answer the question.
I'll
Spar is
ask it
literally
again.
in their name.
Well,
Capitanos, if it is all right with you, of course.
Of course. Yes.
We will try not to be in the way of the crew.
No,
Mhm.
that's fine. There's enough space. And if one of you goes over,
I can fly.
yes.
I have a water horse.
That would have been 27 points of psychic damage.
Everyone just has like an
The misto
aneurysm.
just collapses.
How
I
many
have
dice was
more
that supposed to
HP
be
than
again?
No, of course.
5d8, you said?
Yeah, 5d10.
5d8.
5d10.
5d10?
Mhm.
Let me roll that for myself.
Larity single-handedly just disables the entire ship. Just everyone just falls over.
I am definitely hurting after it, but I'm
Everyone
still
starts bleeding out of their nose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
I'm fine.
Love
That
it.
was 30 points of damage.
Nice. They shrug. So, are you guys sailing off right now, or are you waiting until after this is done?
I thought we're gonna do it at sea.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we'll wait.
Okay.
Once we get out, we're gonna not get in the way of.
Yeah, because I was
The
like,
crew, like,
if we're doing it
launching,
right now,
ready,
they're
yeah,
launching.
make it sail.
No, I would have waited till we were, shipped off.
Well, now that we know this is going to happen, this will give you all time to prepare.
Indeed. Davos and Xanthus nod like, all right. Once we are safely at sea, and we are not going to endanger the Capitanios and his crew, then yes.
Her crew, you mean?
Yes, who do you
Did I
think
say-
has this ship?
I thought I said their crew. So I'm sorry.
So, you first.
I've mapped a route. We head down to Epidarios Limera for a stop, and then once we rested enough, head around up to Fiere, and then we walk the rest of the way. About a 12-hour hike up to Sparta. My crew will stay in Fiere.
Are you certain about that?
The trail from Ferry to Sparta is safer than going from Prisce, Epidaria, or Lydema. So yes, I looked it up on Google Maps.
Is that what you call your device?
Yes.
Yeah, it's now official. Officially on a Google Maps device.
The Google Maps mechanism.
There we go.
That's perfect.
Greek positioning device.
Antikythera, https://antikythera.com.
I found out that Ferre, the place we're going to, is now called Kalamata. And it's
Where
like
the
a major
olives are
port.
from?
I think so.
That's cool. Okay, yeah. Fere. It's famous for its olives, isn't it?
Nice. The Ferre Elves. Which probably won't change in name at any point in time.
No, with olives as famous as theirs, why would anyone ever change the name?
Oh Lord. Okay.
Okay.
Well, as the ship sails out into the night sky, under the night sky.
Are we on the last starship?
I'm okay with that.
Astrid, you have your device in your in the palm of your hand as you are studying the directions that you are needing to go. You remember the words of Astrid as you realize, probably one of the first times, how the device truly doesn't navigate. It is you who is feeding your power through here. And it is like one of the first times it's like you've been doing this for so long and not really paying attention to the true effects of it. But you can see even the spaces just between your skin or your palm and holding it. You can see these little, like, it almost looks like plasma lines that kind of go as it kind of like seems to power from your palm into the device and lights it so that it charts the pathways that you should take with the stars. And your skin kind of starts to take on a little bit of that glow. Almost could be almost indistinguishable from like the light of the moon as it catches your skin. That same kind of pale bluish light. If only the moon weren't so obscured in some like late night cloud cover that it kind of makes it apparent to those who would be truly paying attention, but it's easily like missed by most. And then you look up into the stars and close your eyes. And you can feel the lurch of the planet below you in its place amongst the cosmos. The swirling lines that for player reference would be like gravity and the shifts of magnetism. And you can feel it, just like the sensation of water beneath your feet, but you can also feel it in the air around you. And when you open your eyes again, it's like you're seeing the world through a new perspective. Nothing's physically changed, but with what you have been told now, what you all have learned here, I would say each of you has seen the world is seeing the world now through a different pair of eyes, different perspectives, and how each of your actions can ripple in effect the lives and the spaces around you. Or you're gonna say Themisto.
Only if Astrid doesn't have an immediate response to the set that you created for her.
It's not-
May I be near enough to Astrid to kind of take stock of this?
Sure.
As Astrid is closing her eyes and thinking, Themisto will eventually, after just kind of looking for a while, speak up. You know, Capitanios, your relationship to that object of yours from the Old Kingdom, it reminds me of how I work with my focus. How it is a wave that grounds me, connects me to the gods or to whatever it is we share with them, I suppose.
Astra told me that I may not need it anymore, but something about it feels grounding. I agree with you. I may not need it to focus my powers, but it's something that has brought me comfort, and it's been a part of it's been a part of directing me for so long.
The Mister's gonna put a hand on her back for a moment and say, then hold on to it, you should. Perhaps there are yet more secrets inside it that you may use to find out about yourself.
Perhaps I could still possibly use it for the crystals that we found in Kritan. That helped to focus some of those memories. I don't know if I can do that by myself.
They say the Old Kingdom is still so mysterious to me, even after the vision of the place.
You know, there was still a couple of the crystals that I had brought with me, and I have not checked them. But it would be bad if I fell into a seizure right now.
And I would hesitate to take the other from you at this point with the darkness. Perhaps it is you who can navigate by starlight, but not I. Eric's, I am sure.
Perhaps, yeah, she has the dark vision that she needs to see into the oceans. But the same way that you rely on your faith guide you, I think if you applied that same faith, you could guide the ship.
I could perhaps give a suggestion of where it might need to go. And I appreciate your confidence in me, Capitanios. These days, I don't just let my faith in the gods guide me, though, but the faith in all of us too. Although you do notice that she takes a good look at Phoebe for a bit as she's saying this. It does apply to everyone.
Follow the sun. And I don't mean Apollo.
And that I have been. Speaking of, I should go and do a little blessing. Sprinkle some sacred oil on the four of them before this gets started. Just to try to avoid anybody getting thrown overboard.
Too late.
I'll slowly ship down for this.
Thank you. So yeah, Themista will go and do exactly as she said. And go over and with her stylus dipped into a little bit of oil, take it and like sprinkle it on everybody. And sorry, Leanfish.
Now just add a little pesto and you'll be good to go.
We're just about at where they have the olives from, so
Hold on, Themista. I think I need one more blessing right here. I think you missed the spot.
That I did. Go with Pelicus.
Splashes your face with the oil.
Oh my eye!
Oh, you were being. I'm so sorry.
Maybe a little dab with her finger though, just for fun.
The little nose boob.
No, not a dab. Yes, it is.
That was 6d10 psychic damage.
Okay. Phoebe, I won't be much help in this sparring match. 'Cause
I'm already unconscious.
wait, how was that worse than what I said?
Just cause situational.
It just builds.
It builds, yeah.
Stacking.
Yeah. Ay. Alright.
Davos and Xanthus too. They get a little sprinkle. They do not get the extra blessing though.
Just extra dressing.
As the ship has
I'm
begun-
dead.
as the ship is starting to flatten out on the sea, being blown by the wind, a very calming wind. You see Davos and Xanthus have gathered spear and shield as they prepare for a trial by midnight. And that is where we will start next time.
Aw, man.
Mhm. Yeah, that I was like, that's not happening.
You're not
tonight.
ready for this right now?
Nope.
No, of course. It'll be a good start to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all ready
Not
for
ready
this?
for this?
Apparently not.
The Spartan boys weren't.
Oh, I have the.
I know.
The,
You
the
were.
Encounter,
You were,
I have
they
the
weren't.
encounter set up. I've had the encounter set up for a while now, but, yes.
I hope you have to dodge flying fish like it's a Mario level.
Oh my gosh, you will now. All right.
There's
So-
definitely be a flying monk.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want any flying fish flying at the monk because it's gonna redirect them like
Oh
missiles.
yeah, you can
Sushi.
redirect the fish.
Or just immediately fried, landing on a plate.
Yeah,
No,
like
but
in-
if
like
it's
in the cartoon.
flying, it's a missile that I can catch and throw back.
That'd be so
love that.
cool.
Redirect trout.
Oh, Lord, I would like to play.
I think
a
it would be reroute trout.
fish.
Yeah, if someone throws a street at you, redirect route.
Oh no! All
There
right.
are flying fish in the Mediterranean.
Enough psychic
so-
damage.
Yeah. You want another batch round of psychic damage? This is how you get another round of psychic damage.
I'm already unconscious, so
Yeah.
I got
that's fair.
saving
Saving
throws.
throws. Jinx.
All right. Well, that's actually a turnpike. Oh no, Hunter! Why?
Very nice. If only we remembered you.
I will.
It's
never-
okay. He'll always be in the intro.
Yeah.
I see Hunter is carpe diem.
Oh no. No. Hate it all. All right. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. We look forward to another exciting episode next Tuesday. No. Yes.
So I know I'm about to make a bass of myself, but
Anyone here a Pisces?
I am a Pisces.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
half of this Discord.
Actually, yeah.
Oh no, he seems unguarded.
Wow. Guard.
Wait, yes.
Aaron, I have rolled for recap next time.
Yes.
I know you have done it a couple of times in a row.
I'll do
Would
it.
you like it, or
Yeah.
do you want to double and give it to the next person?
No, it's fine. It'll be fun.
That's a brutal method of double and pass on.
Recap by Davos and Sanchez.
You know exactly where I was going with this. Where there's a gill, there's a
It
way.
needs to be read in the
Wow.
style of Macho Man, Randy Savage, and Hulk Hogan, because they're about to do a tag team.
Oh my god.
This needs to be a wrestling promo, or we're done. Like, what are we even doing here?
That would be
Oh
hilarious.
my gosh.
We haven't done an overproduced
Intro.
recap in a while.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Themista, will you be the announcer?
I guess you better bring out Styles as your ring girl.
Oh no. Alrighty. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Don't forget to mark your calendars for May 17th for the trequel. It's not the sequel. The third installment of Twin Company.
A Star Wars
A Star
one
Wars
shot
one-shot.
now expanding experience
Yeah. Yeah.
with a lot of our friends from all across the
Yeah.
D&D streaming world
All
Yeah.
across the galaxy.
and the galaxy.
Literally, we'll have our friends from Top Down Tabletop, Marquee Gaming joining us again. So it'll be fun. It'll be a good
Bards in
time.
New York.
And keep your eyes
no,
on
no.
later May.
No bards this year.
Not this time.
Want me to?
Not this time. But who knows for future events? That is on the horizon. There's a lot on the horizon.
Of course,
this
because
I
we're
see?
going to be here next Tuesday, just as always.
Mhm.
And even later on in May, Savannah Nights, our VTM game, still coming.
Heck yeah.
It'll be a bloody good time.
Oh no. All right, we gotta stop it now.
10d10
I'm
psychic
pulling
damage.
this car over. Y'all are done. Good night,
We're going
everybody.
back home.
Good night, everyone.